Hello, little lavenders.
But I can't find the word.
But is this working? I don't know. Hello, little lavenders. So on today's series, we are going to be diving back into spiritual lessons that we can learn from animals. Today's animal is koalas, which I'm really excited to get into. So let's just begin. So fun fact number 1, koalas' diets are mostly comprised of poisonous leaves, specifically eucalyptus leaves, which are fatal to most animals. I think for me, one of the lessons that just seemed to jump out at me is one man's trash is another man's treasure. The things that you need to thrive, the things that make you you, the circumstances and situations in which you work best in are unique to you. And just because something works for someone else doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, and that is fine. That is okay. Everyone has their own pace, everyone has their own speed, and it's perfectly okay to march to the beat of your own drum. So one of the things that I mean by when I say different people thrive in different situations. Now, I'm the type of girl that needs to schedule down. Like, I need that schedule down packed. Like, if we're doing something, it needs to be finalized in the group chat. But some people aren't like that. Like, there's go with the flow people, and I love that for them. That can just sort of like go with what's coming up as it comes up. No solid plans, like text you on the day being like, hey, do you want to watch a movie? You know, there's people like that, and that's how they thrive. And I think life is figuring out how you thrive, what works best for you. Another spiritual lesson that I learned from this is that sometimes we have to do the nitty-gritty to survive. There are going to be times that you have to do things that don't necessarily nurture your soul because we're human. We're living in a capitalist society. Bills have to get paid. You have to eat. Like, not every facet of your life is going to be fun and enjoyable, and that's a hard fact. But once you accept that fact, life will become so much easier because your expectation is set at a different place. The second fun fact that I'm going to be bringing you today about koalas is that they don't live in social groups. In fact, they are asocial. Koalas be thugging it out on their own. Like, they are on their ones and they're standing on business when they say that. Now, obviously, humans are very different from that. We are social creatures and we do thrive around people. However, that being said, I want you to make time for yourself, because I think that sometimes we can use being around other people as a crutch for not having to confront our own problems and issues that are going on in our lives. So what do I mean by this? I mean, get comfortable being alone. What do you do in your spare time? And I don't really think scrolling on social media counts, because in some way you're still interacting with someone. What do you do when the phone's shut off, the TVs are off? What do you do? How do you spend your time? We have to begin getting comfortable being our own best friend. Because if we don't know what we want, how can we expect other people to give that to us? I think one of my favorite quotes is that the only way out is through. Yes, people are healing, and yes, your friends and family are so important, but at the end of the day, the only person that you spend time with 24/7, day in and day out, is yourself. And you have to become comfortable with spending time by yourself. And I want you to explore your hobbies, explore your passions. There are so many things I know that we say we're going to do, but we never find the time to do it because we are not conscious with how we're spending our time. So if you want to learn piano, then pick up the piano. Whether that's by first starting off by downloading a piano app and then maybe saving up and getting a keyboard, however that manifests, make sure you're putting in the steps to get to where you want to go for yourself. Another lesson that I take away from the fact that koalas spend all their time primarily with themselves is that it's important, especially when you get into a relationship, that you're maintaining your sense of self. It is so easy once you get in a relationship to sort of just merge identities, and I would be wary of that. A little merging is good, but not too much with it, okay? Make sure, even if you want to spend every day of every second with your partner or with your, even like a best friend, make sure that you're spending time alone by yourself, because it's only in those quiet moments by ourselves that we truly learn more about ourselves. On the opposite spectrum, make sure that you're not over-isolating. Humans, unlike koalas, are social creatures, and you should be spending time around people. Preferably people that love and care about you, because it matters who we spend our time around. They are in some ways a reflection of ourselves, and we need to be very selective with the energies and people that we are surrounding ourselves with. Fun fact number 3. Koalas can spend up to 18 hours a day sleeping. So I want you to ask yourself this: how many hours in a day do you spend sleeping? And I don't mean this in just the literal sense. When I say sleeping, I mean both consciously and subconsciously. By sleeping subconsciously, I'm talking about that autopilot zone where you don't really know where you're going or how you're getting there, and you're just sort of in like this la-la land, as for lack of a better word. But I want you to ask yourself, how much time am I spending sleeping? Because I think that's a really prominent problem in today's generation. Not enough people, and I think I hate this phrase, but not enough people are woke, if you will. I do think that we need to spend time exploring our subconscious and making sure that when we are consuming media, news, whatever, even gossip that your friend is telling you, that we are using our critical thinking skills. Do not accept anything at face value. And in some ways, when you start doing this, this will boost your self-esteem, because you won't take what people tell you that you are or what they think of you at face value. You won't just accept that, oh, well, because so-and-so told me that I'm slow, that means I'm slow. No, that means that they're projecting. So if there's one key takeaway that I would leave you with, is that obviously sleep is important, but I'm talking about subconscious sleep. And when we're in subconscious sleep, we are not fully present and aware in our bodies or in the world. And to better show up for yourself and others around you, you have to be conscious. One tip that has really helped me is noticing my thoughts as they come up. And what I mean by that is that all you have to do is acknowledge the thought. You don't try to change it, you just acknowledge it, because at the end of the day, they're just thoughts. They do not run you, they don't control you. Another way that you can expand your consciousness is by being very selective of the media that you listen to, the music that you're taking in. All of this affects you, whether you recognize it or not. It does have an impact on you. The frequency of the waves in the music will impact you. And this is just a fun tidbit, but if you struggle with sleep, I would highly suggest listening to sleep waves, because A, this kind of proves my point that the waves in the music you listen to do impact you on a biological level, but 2, they help you sleep. Fun fact number 4, koalas have an amazing sense of smell. In fact, in the wild, they have been seen and noted to sniff the leaves before they eat them. I mean, they are picky. They are only accepting the best of the best, and they are not settling. What I take away from this is, honestly, it was kind of already said, but do not settle. Do not lower your standards for anyone or anything, whether that be a job or a person or even a place. If you are unhappy, you are going to have to make steps. You are going to have to take moves to get yourself out of that predicament. Personally, in my life, I am known as a bare minimum queen because in my relationships, I tend to settle for the bare minimum and do not ask for more. But we're working on it, but that's something that I need to work on for my own personal growth. There are areas in all of our lives where we are compromising unnecessarily. Be like that koala, sniff out the best of the best eucalyptus tree. Do not let anyone tell you that you are worth any less. And sometimes this can manifest in ways that are more simple than you could even imagine. For me, one of the ways is that I have sort of an affirmation when I'm struggling with depression and cleanliness goes out the window. I tell myself I am worthy of a clean space. I'm worthy of a clear mind. And to get to there, I need to clean. And so that's one way in which this works in a practical scenario. Fun fact number 5, koalas are actually closer to kangaroos than they are to true bears. So if you've noticed throughout this video, I have not said koala bears, and that is because I learned the name koala bear is a scam. What I take away from this is that do not let anyone tell you who you are. It honestly does not matter what other people call you, it matters what you answer to. People will try to put you in boxes, they will try to tell you who you are and where you fit in this world, but you do not have to conform or confine yourself to those labels and those boxes. You are capable of so much, and honestly, sometimes people are just haters and they do not want to see you at your full potential because it threatens what they consider to be their success. I want you to imagine how far you could go if only you believed in yourself. Because the haters believe in you, and that's why they're trying to put you down. They believe that you could become something, and they're haters, so they don't want you to. But you have to take that as motivation to keep going. Well, that concludes this video on koalas and spiritual lessons that we can learn from them. I really hope you enjoyed this, and please, 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 please give me suggestions of animals to do. This is so fun for me. I really have a deep appreciation for animals, and I do think there's so many cool things that we don't appreciate about them, and there's so much that we can learn from them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.